Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to your favorite show on the internet, Raw Law Unfiltered, with your favorite host on YouTube, the DUI Guy Plus. Hashtag buckle up, it's the law. Today we're going to be doing something very, very special. Shout out to that umbrella guy for making this suggestion. I believe he did this on his own channel, and now I am following suit. So thank you, Tug, for the suggestion, because I would have never in a million years thought to do this. Because when I see things like this, I always wonder: am I going to get copyright struck? Am I going to get the last thing we YouTubers were very scared of legitimate, honest, sincere copyright strikes. And this one, he said. The people have spoken, and Rando Studios, by the way, shout out to Rando Studios. They don't copyright strike people. They actually want us to spread the word, and they love the fact that we are sharing this. I said Rando's Productions. I'm sorry, I called it Rando Studios. Rando's Productions. So they might even be in the chat. I don't know. I guess we'll keep an eye out for that. But yeah, apparently this documentary is a little docu-series. It's got 2 parts. This is part 1 that we're going to be doing today. We may do the second part today. I haven't decided yet because I didn't stream yesterday. But let's see how it goes. And buckle up. Enjoy the ride. Let's do some commentary.
Amber, did Johnny give you that bruise on your face? Did Johnny beat you up? Excuse me. Did Johnny fertilize you? Amber? Hi, Amber. How you feeling?
Flanked by security, Amber Heard doesn't try to hide the bruise on her cheek. Neither does her.
By the way, let me know if it's too loud or if you need it louder. But I think it's right now the volume is perfect. Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is perfect, and put a 0 if I need to fix it.
Lawyer.
You guys, she showed a lot of courage today.
You okay, Amber?
A judge granted the actress a temporary restraining order against megastar husband Johnny Depp.
Never did I myself reach the point of striking Miss Heard in any way, nor have I ever struck any woman in my life.
Miss Heard walked into court. The scene was a setup. She tipped off the paparazzi so they would be waiting. They knew exactly where she would pause, which side of her face to photograph. And the photos captured what she wanted them to see. The image of a...
I love the juxtaposition of Camille Vasquez's closing over this, over Amber Heard and her coming out of the courtroom and getting her photos. This is like so good. This is good documentary skills right here.
battered woman.
Take a look at the words she used in her op-ed 2 years after she first publicly accused Mr. Depp of being an abuser. Quote, then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse.
Social justice. She has spearheaded policies to better serve residents of all ages and created the West Hollywood Community Response Team for Domestic Violence.
I can't promise you that I'll be perfect. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. God, I fucking sometimes get so mad I lose it. I can fucking promise you I'll do everything to change.
Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
To piggyback
Johnny
on the
Depp and
judge's
Amber
point,
Heard.
you love when politics then doubles down.
Millions of viewers have intently followed the coverage of Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp trial to see whether the actress lied and defamed her ex-husband of 15 months after claiming he abused her during their short-lived marriage. The jury's verdict massively ruled in favor of Johnny on all counts, but some still scrutinize the judgment, the trial, and its coverage for one reason or another. However, the theme of their criticism is primarily centered around misogyny and victims of domestic abuse being let down. Perhaps they understandably didn't watch every second of the 6-week-long broadcasted trial, or looked at every piece of evidence that's been presented. But we will look into this wild story, its context in our society, consider all of its angles, and what it means for us all.
The truth. That's it.
You cannot tell me that you think that this has been fair.
I like how they compare her to like Jessie Smollett is over there. That's funny.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
And
me.
I'm taking pictures calling the cops.
Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
The Army National Guardsman lost his civilian job and was out of work for nearly 6 months after the arrest. Bennett, later convicted of making it all up. She was sentenced to 35 days in jail, then an ankle monitor.
I don't feel that's justice.
His accuser, 19-year-old Nikki Uvino, later admitted that she had sex willingly and was afraid that if she admitted that, another student wouldn't want to date her.
You know, people don't look at you the same way. People don't talk to you. People...
One day you're Cinderella, so to speak, and then in 0.6 seconds you're Quasimodo. My family, the people that supported me, suddenly I'm scum. Why? Never had to happen. One little lie.
Oh, I start flipping out. I can't get a word in, and it's manic and angry.
I get angry. I'm human. This is the kind of situation where one gets angry.
Okay, but just
can't control that. If I'm angry.
Just try.
Like everyone else in fucking such this, go fucking suck my dick. You fucking cowardless, ballless piece of shit.
I want to.
I don't want anything to fucking do with you. You don't want fucking nothing to do with you. You think I want that fucking old ass fucking piece of shit?
That's pretty bad. That's too much to take.
When the casting department was looking for an actress to play a femme fatale in the movie The Rum Diary, actor Johnny Depp was asked to review their pick, Amber Heard. Johnny accepted her for the part. That part extended way past the movie.
I think that there's something truly unique about this project.
This movie, I don't think, without Johnny, obviously wouldn't be made. And I think people will enjoy the ride.
I love him, and you know what? It's not your decision. It's not your decision. I'm sorry. I'm going to date him whether you say
over the edge now.
Listen to him. I'm going to start right here. I'm not going anywhere.
She's staying here.
You stay in the
We're
room.
leaving.
Fine,
We're
go.
leaving.
Fine, go.
At this point, Amber is mostly known for some small roles, most notably a few scenes in a stoner comedy she did with James Franco called Pineapple Express.
Oh, I remember that
In
movie.
a life-imitating
she was in
art
it.
moment, Johnny and Amber become romantically involved. On the surface, they would go on to enjoy the extravagant life Johnny is on. Prestigious premieres and award shows.
Do you guys remember Pineapple Express? I remember that movie. It was like Seth. Is it Seth? Not Seth Green. I always get Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen, the other Seth. Seth Rogen and what's his name from Spider-Man? She mentioned it. I already forgot the name. James Franco. James Franco and Seth Rogen, and there was another one. Wasn't Will Ferrell in it too, or am I hallucinating? It was a fun movie. It was a fun movie. It's called a stoner movie, but it's just a fun movie. I forgot she was in it completely. I don't remember her in it. I really don't. But anyway, let's keep watching.
Private jets and vacations on Johnny's 44-acre private island in the Bahamas. When they're not away, they would spend time in one of Johnny's Los Angeles mansions or in one of the multi-million-dollar 5 luxury penthouses Johnny Depp owned atop LA's historic Eastern Columbia building. For extended periods of time, Johnny would allow others to reside in his luxury homes and penthouses free of charge. Most notably, Amber's friends and family, which include Rocky Pennington, her ex-partner Josh Drew, I.O. Tillett Wright, Elizabeth Martz, and Amber's sister Whitney. It was revealed that Amber would eventually throw her sister Whitney out of the penthouse she was in after they had a massive fight. Amber and Whitney's relationship has not always been a smooth one.
Amber's sister, Whitney, seemed to always get the sort of dirty end of the stick. I felt bad for that because it wasn't new. It had been there for for life.
Whitney, truth or dare? Okay, did you really start the fight with your sister or did she start it? For real, for real, for real. We're not gonna talk about that. She really did whoop your butt. Oh, we're not talking about it. Yeah, I guess I'm done talking about it.
It was a kind of a strange combination of loving sister, trusted sister and friend, then either punching bag or the dartboard, or the recipient of some rather demeaning and ugly words, or she would have wine thrown in her face.
Who was the source of those demeaning words and the wine that you just referenced?
That would be Amber Heard, her sister. Whitney was trying to please her sister, trying to be up to snuff, and it just seemed like she got shot down.
But yes, I have been in arguments with my sister.
And you have wanted to run away for days, right?
Sure.
And not have her there fighting with you.
Sure.
She and her boyfriend, Sean, had broken up. She needed a place to go. So Amber asked if she could stay in penthouse 4, and I said, well, of course, of course.
And you testified that for a time you lived in the ECB penthouses with Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard.
That's correct.
You didn't pay rent while you were living there, right?
No.
You didn't pay for any of the bills for the penthouses?
No. It's very generous.
And Rocky Pennington lived in one of those penthouses also, right?
She did.
And at some point, her boyfriend, Josh Drew, moved in, right?
Yes.
You took trips with your sister and Mr. Depp also, right?
Occasionally.
You didn't pay for those either, right?
Nope. I did not.
You moved out of the penthouses because at that point, you and your sister were fighting, right?
It was around the time that, he had accused me of leaking stories, and that was the impetus of me leaving.
Whitney moved out of penthouse 4, and it was due to an argument that Ms. Heard and Whitney had. Amber asked her to leave. Get out.
Despite Johnny's extreme generosity to Amber's friends and family, it would come out that Amber would berate Johnny for being stingy.
I'll write you a check for the extra sip I took. Is that okay? Stingy old fucking piece of shit.
You're the one that brought it up.
Mm-mm. You did. You said don't drink my wine. That's mine.
I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't?
I said I didn't think you were looking for anymore.
Rewind.
Because of the gaslighting that seems prominent on Amber's side, the couple both agree to tape their disagreements for future reference.
Did there come a time when you and Ms. Heard started recording your arguments?
Yes, and it was for this reason. We would have been talking the night before or arguing the night before, and she would say something. There would be these demeaning, berating insults. There would be these jabs. There would be.
And I did call you pussy, and I was like, again, I said I was sorry for calling you pussy. I called you one name for every time. I did not call you in Toronto. I did not call you. No, I did not. I did not call you a coward.
You have the tapes. Let's listen.
Yes, I will. I did not call you that in Toronto. I have called you that before, but for everything, every time you heard pussy, which you're so obsessed that you got called, and I'm so sorry. That must be so tough that you got called that one name.
Yeah, whatever.
Anything to make me feel small and like nothing, because she would deny having said those things. What are you talking about? It was surreal.
What are you fucking talking about? I didn't fucking even have a fucking thing to lie about. What are you fucking talking about? Every fucking fight, there's a new thing that you've convinced yourself is a lie.
I said to you, Amber, tell Travis what you just did. Did you just fucking, did you punch me in the fucking jaw? Did you fucking kick? Did you? And you wouldn't say fucking, I don't know what you're talking about. I never fucking. She had completely denied things she'd said directly to my face in a heated and volatile way. So I went to her and I said, I'm going to record us because I want you to hear what you've said to me tomorrow. And I did. When she was on tape, the first time, it escalated a bit, but it was clear that she was performing for the tape. So that was another clue that
I remember that
something was slightly rotten in the state of Denmark, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Feels, bro. Oh, feels.
He was very open and warm to them, offered them, whatever they needed. They were constantly coming around the estate.
Sean Bett, a former police officer who worked security for Johnny, remembers the type of dynamic Amber's friends and family had with Johnny.
Eventually, he let a couple of them live in his penthouses downtown for free. He would let them, a few of them, drive his nice Dodge Challenger in and around town and take on trips.
And how long have you lived there? Just over 2 years. Do you rent or own that? Neither. You live there without paying any rent? Correct. You have access to the entire floor? Yes. And that's based on permission given by Ms. Heard? Yes.
So while I was a frequent guest, I didn't actually live there until I want to say about October or November of 2015.
Did you or she have a key that allowed you access to all of the penthouses on that floor?
Everything except PH2, yes.
Did you have an opportunity to observe how Ms. Heard's friends and families treated Mr. Depp?
They were obviously very pleasant to him because from observing, they were taking advantage of him. So they were being obviously extra nice to the hand that feeds them.
Yep.
And that's just progressed.
You don't bite the hand that feeds you. Everybody knows that rule. Even Amber is not stupid enough, at least at that time, to be like, look, he's the one providing. So we're just going to be nice about it. We're going to leech off and mooch off of him. It's so disgusting.
Period of time.
You've met Amber Heard?
Oh, yeah.
Paula Baby, a former assistant to a friend of Johnny, was present at a party at the penthouse.
I was in that building,
Eastern
by the way.
Columbia building.
By the way,
Amber, Johnny.
shout out to. Let me go back just 2 seconds. Not this far. Where's the building?
And then a few other people, I don't know who they were. I think Raquel
was present at a party
Right here.
at the penthouse.
That's the Eastern Columbia building, and I wanted to give a shout out to somebody who hasn't been on this channel in a while, though she is a moderator. Shout out to Amy Goodhart. If you're a member, drop her emoji in the chat right now. Drop her emoji if you're in the watch party. Drop the emoji in the chat, or if you are watching this after we're already live, then drop the emoji in the comments below. So here, I'm going to do it myself in case you guys don't know. This is Amy in the closet with Amy Goodhart. There she is. That's Amy. And of course, we have a Camille, we have an Amber, we have a Johnny, we have an O-Face, we have a TMZ guy, and we have a Johnny, and we have a pint, mega pint. We have a lot. We have a lot of emojis. If you're a member, you can use those. And but yeah, Amy Goodhart gave me the tour of this building that you see before you. That's the Eastern Columbia building. We went all the way upstairs to where the penthouse floor. So we were able to see the penthouse floor. And obviously we couldn't go in because there are people living there and now probably. But we did go to see the pool. We stood by the pool. We took a photo right here on no. That's a lie. Right here. There's the pool. You can't see it, but the pool is right here. And right by the pool at nighttime, we just stood over the edge right here, and Amy and I took a photo. It was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. And of course, I got to meet Alejandro. Alejandro is still working there. Alex, he was in Vegas. He met with Andy and Laura B and Johnny and everybody when they did that. I wasn't at that one. I met Johnny separately in Germany a few months later. But yeah, this was huge. This was like I spoke to him for a little bit. He was a cool dude. He was a really cool dude. No different from life. Anyway, let's keep watching.
In the Eastern Columbia building.
Amber, Johnny, Amber's dad and her mom, and then a few other people, I don't know who they were. I think Raquel, she was there. And I found it strange that none of his family was there. It was just her friends.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. It's public.
Well, did you have to take any plates back? Was there anything to take back? No, we left it in PH5. Okay. Was there somebody else that was going to clean it up?
The next day, the housekeepers were going to come.
So your expectation was housekeepers
Yes.
that worked for them were going to clean?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I think what's amazing about you is that you have turned by being a real kind of character actor into, well, like you're the best character actor in the world. Well, you are. You say,
Lord, man.
well, because most characters.
After establishing a lustrous career and achieving historical success as once-in-a-generation character actor, one would think Johnny at this point would be leading a serene life, surrounded by a similarly accomplished, dignified group of friends of his caliber. But instead, his environment became full of what sounds like a group of young imposters with often ambiguous self-assigned job titles.
I was a photographer and I worked for the New York Times, I think.
He didn't even. Whoa! I forgot this part. I worked for the New York Times, I think. Which lie did I make up for that one? I was working for the Daily Wire. No, it wasn't the Daily Wire. Washington Post. No, I worked for the Daily Bugle. Daily Bugle. Yes, that's the one I worked for. It was the Daily Bugle. No, that's a fictional one from Spider-Man. Fuck no. Oh, damn it. Okay, New York Post. Let's make it New York Post. Sure, why not?
Recall exactly everything, but
What do you do for a living?
I am a yoga teacher.
Okay, how long have you been a yoga teacher?
About a year and a half.
And you work at a yoga store?
Studio.
Studio?
I graduated high school.
Okay.
I took.
Oh, congrats! You know how to graduate high school. Good for you. By the way, she never testified at the trial.
College.
Okay. How many years of community college did you complete? 1 year.
I worked for the New York Times as a journalist and photographer.
Why does it sound like at the end of his sentence, I worked as a journalist? Like there's a question mark at the end of it. Like I don't go around going, good morning, everybody. I'm a lawyer. I go to the courthouse and I try jury trials. You know, like that's somebody who's not convinced of their own lies. That's someone who's probably lying through their teeth and they're like, I think this is what I used to say. Like it's someone who's lacking confidence, like uncertainty, right? It's like, I worked as a reporter. Like I worked as a reporter, you know, I am a lawyer. Like there's got to be like a period or maybe even an exclamation point. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I mean, I do, but you know what I mean.
You sell jewelry that you make?
Yes.
Okay. And
Exactly,
you've done that for
Lulu's
how
mom.
long? About 3 months.
Okay. 3 months. Where do you make your jewelry?
At my desk, my kitchen.
What is your profession today?
I'm a writer and a producer.
What is your occupation? I run my own hospitality development consulting firm.
Now that guy is at least certain. Look at his conviction and his answers of Josh Drew's answers.
Also a chef? Not anymore.
What, if any, education have you had since high school?
I have my associates.
And between 2011 and through the present, have you had any other professions other than photographer, writer?
By the way, don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, join on as a member, and ask any questions, or if you want to super chat, feel free.
Producer?
Yes.
And what are those?
I've hosted a television show or two. I made some podcasts.
Again, what does that mean? I hosted a television show or two. If it's only one, then say one. If it's two, then say two. What kind of wishy-washy answer is one, maybe two? Like if either you hosted a television show or you didn't host a television show. And if you did, then is it at least one? Okay, one. If it's two, then say two. How can you not remember unless you're making shit up as you go along? You know what I mean? Come on. And then podcasts, come on, that's not a job. No offense. That's a side gig, but I mean, it can be. I shouldn't ding it. I'm being an asshole. Maybe because I don't like this guy. No, podcast can be a job. That's a lie. I'm sorry, you guys. This guy really makes my skin crawl.
I wrote 2 other books. 2 books, 3 books.
I know the type. Come to LA with stars in their eyes, but few, if any, have the talent to make it. So they star fuck. You know, she's dating some douche canoe with a stupid name.
What's Io's real name? Io?
It's Io.
Iho.
Yeah.
He had his number of houses on that street, and there was a constant rotation of different people coming to town who he would let.
And when you stayed at the Eastern Columbia building, did you stay in one of the penthouses?
Yes.
And did you understand that that penthouse was owned by Mr. Depp at the time?
I assumed it was, yes.
Johnny has admittedly been suffering with addiction most of his life, and now, thanks to Amber and his indiscriminate generosity, he finds himself in a chaotic cycle of the typical ambitious people that flock to Los Angeles, in and out of his homes, occupying his space, and even claiming his neighborhood. And then there is the toxic, explosive relationship, all of which appear to exacerbate his struggles with addiction.
It does not affect you psychologically at all. Look it up. I don't fucking care. I won't talk about fucking it anymore. You can fucking look it up. It clearly doesn't work, does it? No, you don't. And it doesn't calm you down psychologically. It's supposed to slow your heart rate down.
Debbie Lloyd is a nurse. My doctor, Dr. Kipper, had assigned to oversee the detox and deliver the medications that would help with my the effects of withdrawal that one goes through, so that you don't go through the nastiness of the affair.
After an addict stops using opioids can be painful and severe.
You're freezing, but you can't stop sweating and you're just in a pool of sweat. It feels like
I've seen that firsthand with some of my clients, by the way, because we represent a lot of people who like go through drug addiction, suffer drug addiction, and so on. It's not pretty, especially when they're detoxing at the jail and you get to meet them like a few days later, they're fine. But I met a client one time who was actively detoxing. That is not a pretty sight. Back in my younger days, I don't really do that kind of stuff anymore, but I used to. And because, you just get whatever clients get through the door. And I mean, they're literally like, just get me out of here, man. Just get me out because they need their fix, and it's like, it's so ugly, so ugly.
like ants are crawling under your skin, like food poisoning times 10.
Oof. It feels like
I remember that, seeing that.
Very inside of you is trying to escape the body.
It's physical torture, it's mental torture. You're literally coming undone at the seams. You're crawling out of your skin. It's basically like you're living in hell.
You'd have immense cramps in your stomach. Your muscles would seize. My body would shake. The pain is like nothing I've ever experienced before.
It's really, really miserable. And we use those analogies like body aches, cramps, diarrhea, nausea, sweats, chills, vomiting, like just this horrible experience, right? So it's really, really unpleasant. Mm-hmm. And it can last anywhere from 3 days to weeks, unfortunately. But with the right medicine, we can make that okay.
Opioid use disorder is probably one of the hardest substance use disorders to treat without medication, but the easiest to treat with medication. Without medication, and this isn't including those incarcerated, there's only about a 10% success rate.
I think it's a more humane way of dealing with people who have a very, very serious problem.
Where did you do this detox process?
I'm never comfortable saying this, but it's an island. It's a very strange thing to say. But I thought that would be the best place, the most private, where I can have actual anonymity.
Who came with you down to the island for the detox?
In fact, initially, my sister Christy was going to help Ms. Lloyd and the doctor through the detox, which made perfect sense since the whole thing had been born out of her desire for me to get clean. So initially, it was supposed to be Christy in place of Ms. Heard. There was a great part of me that was very uncomfortable with Ms. Heard coming along, as things could fluctuate very rapidly in our relationship. I was wary that those things would come up during what needed to be a very straight detoxification of these substances.
Would your fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you. I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you start physical fights?
You're such a baby. Grow the fuck up,
Because you start
Johnny.
physical fights?
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did. So I had to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable.
So then why did Miss Hurd come down to the island with you during the detox process?
She insisted. She switched places with Christy. When we were on the island, and it was hitting pretty hard, and Miss Hurd had made a deal with Nurse Debbie and Dr. Kipper to stay at their end of the island, and that she would administer the drugs, administer the medications that I needed to not go into these intense, sharp, painful heebie-jeebies. And there was a moment when I could feel my body starting to tense, and I could feel the withdrawals coming on, and they're not discreet. They go straight for the jugular. I mean, when your receptors are in full bloom and begging for the opiates that my body had become used to, that these
That's what he's talking about, the
receptors
fix.
were being fed by. I was sitting on the couch in the little house that we all saw on the island. Miss Hurd was at the sort of kitchen area, and she was chopping vegetables, I remember. And I said to Miss Hurd, I'm going to need the meds now. She looked at the clock and she said, it's not time. And I said, no, you don't understand. This is not about clocks and watches and things. I'm going into the ship, and it was visible. And I hate saying this, and I hate to have to admit this, but that was, I believe that was about the lowest point in my life. That was the lowest I'd ever felt as a human being. Please, may I have the meds, because it's really kicking in. And she was adamant. No, it's not time. It's not time. When I was begging at that point for the meds, I found that I had sort of rolled off the couch, and I was sitting on the floor crying, tears streaming down my face, begging another human being to please give me the meds that will take this away. She was adamant that, nope, it's not time, 4 o'clock.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know what to say to that, honestly. Like any other person, I'd be like, well, they're following protocol. You know, they're trying not to give the junkie the fix or whatever, you know, but this is meds. It's not really like giving the junkie the fix. It's a little different. I don't know whether to call her a saint or a bitch, right? Like she's protecting him, but at the same time, because we know Amber would get off on this shit. What do you guys think? Do you think she was doing the right thing? Or do you think she was heartless? She was being a heartless bitch and just torturing Johnny and enjoying the process of torturing another man. If you think she was torturing him, put a 1 in the chat. If you think she did the right thing, put a 0. If you think that she was intentionally torturing Johnny, put a 1 in the chat. Or if you think that she was being civil, put a 0. Yeah, that's what I think too. That's my instinct. She loved the power. Exactly, TDG. She was just being spiteful, says Richard Hilliard. TDG says she loved the power. Misspelled, but I got you. Yeah, there's not a single 0 in here. One person said 0.5. Even there, I don't think there's a single 0. Wow. That's, wow. Yep.
So the only thing that one can do is you go straight to the shower. You have to trick the body to get away from the receptors.
Exactly,
You put
Matrix.
it on scalding, and you stand underneath the scalding shower. Essentially, you're burning. You know, your skin is burning from the. And what that would do is it would trick the nerves away from the receptors because they had an immediate problem that needed to be dealt with.
Amber would take pictures of Johnny when he was passed out in vulnerable positions as a result of addiction and the medication he takes for it.
Now that's a cunt.
Amber would
I think
even
we can all
send
agree.
the most embarrassing of them to her friend complaining, "This is what I'm dealing with." Ice cream spilled on him and his head cocked back in a posture where his airways could have been dangerously blocked. This might cause one to wonder if that is what a spouse would do as her husband battles those opioid-hungry, addicted receptors.
Yeah, I agree.
Capturing those pictures of Johnny in those situations came across in the trial as if she was preparing a case against him.
It would be eyewitness statements, it would be evidence, tons of it, and it would be through years. And it would be unbelievable to imagine that either I'm in a secret fight club, or B, I've had
A secret what?
I've had a secret fight club, or that I have been plotting to do this for for 3 years, and while taking pictures of it and documenting it, just saving it up for the right time when I'm not asking for any money and have nothing financial to gain from it.
After that, I had a conversation with Nurse Debbie and with Dr. Kipper. I told them that she had denied me the meds when I was in need, and I think we have to leave the island. She can't be with me while I'm going through the rest of this detoxification. So we went back to Los Angeles, and then I asked Miss Heard if she would please allow me 5 days, 7 days, whatever it took to get finished with the rest of this horrific detox and the pain.
Did Miss Heard give you that time?
She did, reluctantly, yes. I was immediately accused of throwing her out.
Later in the process, Amber would reveal a harbored fear of being thrown out from the luxury penthouses along with her group.
Laura Walker had proposed that I would have to leave. I'd be kicked out, be evicted. So Rock and Josh and everybody evicted within 21 days.
I was accused of abandoning her. I was accused of not appreciating all that she had done to get me to this point where I was, which was kind of an interesting argument for me.
You ignore everything. You take me for granted. You're ignoring everything that I do for you. You do not fight for me, and then you want to sit here and make me sound so terrible to be around. You don't. Everything I've already explained.
No,
10 minutes.
No, fight for you. I don't understand.
You never ever do the work. Put in the work. If we're arguing about something, you don't ever try to get to the bottom of it, figure out, make the peace. You want to make it easy on you.
She wanted control. That's an obvious part.
Begged her,
That's easy.
please. Can I get a place at the Beverly Hills
And he
Hotel?
refused to give her the
You and your
control.
friends a bungalow at the
Rightfully
Beverly
so.
Hills Hotel, where you can all stay together and have a grand old flag. You can have fun. You can do whatever you want, and you don't have to sit around Mr. Shaky. She wasn't happy about it, but
By the way,
it was
let
very
me just say
necessary.
this.
So
It is really a testament to who Johnny is when he can literally sit there and be like, well, I get it. She didn't want to sit there next to Mr. Shaky. He accepts his faults. He accepts his own limitations. That's the beautiful thing about this man, and any man or woman who can accept their limitations, their downfall, their hardship. You know, they're not trying to be like, I'm perfect. Like Amber is like, I am perfect. I didn't do nothing wrong. Johnny like openly admits, like calling yourself Mr. Shaky, knowing that you're probably a recovering addict going through withdrawals. Yeah, Mr. Shaky. And she didn't want to sit next to Mr. Shaky. I wouldn't either if I were in her shoes. Is the fact that like he owns his shit, and he's not trying to act like his shit doesn't stink. And that's power right there. That is powerful.
she did eventually leave for about five days or so.
You leave how you get another room, you get a flight, things like that. And you ask, and getting me a room, getting another room in a hotel is just the same thing. And you can go, I can't meet those demands, I can't do it. Or you can fucking promise me so I have a modicum of safety.
Meet those
I have a modicum
demands.
of
Oh,
respect.
she accidentally ratted herself out. And you can go and I can't meet those demands. I can't do it. Like, I'm demanding. I'm not asking you, Johnny. I am demanding.
A little tiny shit sliver of fucking like, and makes me far more stressed and far more angry when you take off. You use it to hurt me. It's a tool now that you use. And come on, you can't act like you don't do it knowing it's gonna make me mad.
I'm not. It's not to get you mad. It's just to get out of a bad situation while it's happening before it gets worse. In Australia, when we had the big fight where I lost the tip of my finger, at least 5 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms I went to
avoid talking to me, to avoid working it out. That's the problem.
To escape.
There are hours upon hours of audio with instances where Amber admits to physically assaulting Johnny, and many more instances that demonstrate her desire to continue conflict.
We cannot work it out if you run away to the bathroom every time.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
And Johnny's desire to retreat.
A boxer can't go 12 rounds without a fucking minute break.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you a minute break. You do it at minute 3 at the beginning of an argument.
No.
Amber and Johnny's couple therapist, Laurel Avis Anderson, reveals the main tactic Amber used to keep Johnny in fights.
I know she led on more than one occasion and started it to keep him with her because abandonment and having him leave was her worst nightmare. The second one is what she reported to me, which is if he was going to leave her to de-escalate from the fight, she would strike him to keep him there. She would rather be in a fight than have him leave.
Abandonment issues for Amber.
I don't want to instigate any fights. I do not want to fight anyone.
Ms. Heard had a jackhammer style of talking. She was very amped up. He had trouble talking at a similar pace.
I wish I hadn't bought into the months of you being you. I wish I hadn't bought into the promises. I wish I hadn't fucking thought I could have kids with you. You're a fucking kid yourself. I wish I
Jackhammer,
hadn't bought
there it
into
is.
the lie. You still talk about fake bill of goods. You're the biggest you're the biggest fucking seller of fake fucking bill of goods. Talk about presenting yourself as something.
I did myself as a fake
Suck my
seller
dick.
of goods.
Suck my
I fucking you left nothing and I've left everything. So
That was a sound that I had gotten very used to. The raising of the voice to excommunicate anything that I had to say about the situation.
Did you ever hear Amber Heard yell at Mr. Depp?
Yes.
On how many occasions?
I couldn't tell you the number of occasions.
He was cut off a lot, and so he was really overwhelmed.
When you start the fucking yelling, fucking gets crazy. It gets fucking crazy, and that makes me not feel, for lack of a better word, safe.
yeah, I mean, lots of name calling, lots of F-bombs,
Who was the name calling directed at?
So that was typically Miss Heard directing her feelings toward Mr. Depp.
What do you recall Ms. Heard saying in those instances?
Oh dear. It would vary, and to be honest, I tried to not pay attention. I was just there to get Mr. Depp out of there, but there were times I've heard Miss Heard call him a fucking washed up, fucking deadbeat dad, fucking cunt, you name it. She's spewed it.
Damn.
But Amber appears to flip the abuser and the victim roles in the legal proceedings.
Darvo's him constantly.
In the private audios, one of her main complaints to Johnny is that he escapes from fights.
But every time you don't like what I say and you fucking run away, we'll never work out anything. You can't run away every fight.
But in the legal proceedings, she insists that she's the one who escapes.
Did you just tell Johnny Depp in that recording that I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing?
Yes, as he was trying to get into the door, into the room, I was trying to escape in.
If she admits to hitting him with a door in private in the deposition, she's the one who was hit while trying to escape from him.
I was trying to escape in. He pushed the door into me, and I was trying to hit him by getting him out of the door to stay in the room.
Wow.
I'm sorry about.
I forgot about this part too. She had a tendency to trap him. To even when Johnny's like, "Look, I just want to leave. Can I just leave so I can cool off?" No, you cannot leave. Reminds me of my dad a little bit. Sometimes we would get in these heated arguments, and there's nothing more frightening. There's nothing more frightening than having a person block your only egress out, and you realize you're completely trapped. I mean, granted, he was my father, so maybe he had the right to do it. I don't know. This is not a story about my life, but I remember very distinctly how he would just stand between me and the door, and I would try to open, and he would just say, "No, I'm not done speaking to you. You have to stand here and listen." And it's one of the most frightening things that a human being can experience, is the realization that they are completely trapped and they're at the mercy of the person standing between you and the door. And then I remember telling my grandmother about this, and I'd be like, we got into another argument, and she's like, okay, well, then why didn't you just leave? I said, Grandma, I couldn't leave the room. She was, what do you mean? I said, well, he was blocking the door. She was like, what do you mean he was blocking the door? I mean, he was blocking the door. He was just my only egress. Well, either that or I jump out the window, which I've done on at least a couple occasions when it got really heated. Just open the window, and I was on the first floor, so it wasn't. I wouldn't get hurt or nothing, but he always called me a pussy after that because I just didn't want to deal with him. But I know that feeling of feeling trapped. Like, look, I just want to leave. No, you're not. No, you're not leaving. That's false imprisonment. And to me, that was the norm. I got used to it. God, this brings back memories.
About hitting you with the door or hitting your head. I did not mean to.
She kicked the bathroom door into my head.
And I'm really sorry about hitting you with the door or hitting your head. I did not mean to, nor.
You didn't mean to hit me in the head with the door, but you meant to.
But for the record, we're good now. Like I even went to Shabbat dinner last night. Like now that I don't live at the house anymore, we're like best buds. We're best friends. His birthday is coming up this Saturday, my father's, and we're best buds now that I'm out of the house. But when I lived in the house is when we would get into all these little scuffles because he was trying to school me, educate me in the only ways he knew how, I guess. I don't know. It is what it is.
I didn't
punch me in the jaw.
I meant to hit you.
Oh!
During this deposition in 2016, while listening to this piece of audio, Amber doesn't appear to be moved hearing herself apologizing for assaulting her ex-husband. She's casually snacking and rolls her eyes when she hears Johnny in the audio utter the words, punching me in the jaw.
So that you didn't mean.
The door? No, God, no, I didn't.
Punch me in the jaw.
I didn't. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't
punch me in the jaw.
I meant to hit you, and I did not do this thing with the door. I
was completely taken aback by such a corrosive, horrific move. But at this point, the door was open. I stood up and I said, what the fuck was that? The next move was just a bang. She clocked me in the jaw.
I do remember, I did mean to hit you.
So that you didn't mean?
The door? No, God, no, I didn't.
But punching me in the jaw.
I didn't. Okay, I'm sorry I hit you. I did mean to hit you, but it was in response. I just reacted in response to my foot. I just reacted. And I'm sorry, it's below me.
Your foot? That was why you punched me?
Yeah.
And then you kicked the bathroom door into his head, didn't you?
No, I didn't. And
then you punched him in the
defended
jaw.
myself in that audio. You can hear it for yourself.
Right. And then you punched him in the jaw.
I also did not do that.
What are you fucking talking about? I didn't fucking even have a fucking thing to lie about. What are you fucking talking about? Every fucking fight, there's a new thing that you've convinced yourself is a lie.
I said to you, Amber, tell Travis what you just did. Did you just fucking, did you punch me in the fucking jaw? Did you fucking kick? Did you? And you wouldn't say fucking, I don't know what you're talking about. I never fucking. That audio recording was about trying to make less of what had happened by repeating some story to me that didn't make any sense. And it certainly didn't make any sense since I was there and I was the target. So I wanted some confirmation from someone with some semblance of a mind that could understand what was happening. I wanted Mr. McGivern to come up, and I asked her to tell him what had just happened. Her answer was essentially, I don't know what he's talking about. Nothing happened. He's fine.
But you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you. I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are.
Oh,
That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you start
You
physical
are
fights?
such a baby.
Because
Grow
you-
the fuck up.
Because you start
Johnny.
physical fights?
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did, so I had to get
Because-
the fuck out of there.
I did start a physical
Yeah,
fight.
you did, so I had
Because-
to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You're admirable.
Even in the face of the revealing audios played for Amber when on the stand, she continues to insist that she's the one who tries to barricade herself from Johnny.
And you accused him of being a baby for not wanting to be in a physical fight with you, right?
Incorrect. I accused him of being a baby for complaining about me hitting him when he was trying to get through the door. I was trying to barricade.
Tomato, tomato.
And she came banging on the door, banging on the door, banging on the door. I didn't answer. I was in the shower. I didn't want to let her in because I obviously didn't want the confrontation. She was not in the best of moods. You can hear. I opened the bathroom door when we went knocking on it. A few times I opened. And
Are you abusive? That's a great comment, Melissa Smith. Are you abusive? No, I am not. I just hit him. Like, it's so true.
You just kept going. You just kept going, kept going.
And Mr. Depp was hiding from you in the bathroom.
Oh yeah. Oh
Isn't
shoot.
that right?
I'm right here. Oh my god, good catch. I forgot about this part.
A few times I opened. And you just kept going. You just kept going, kept going.
And Mr. Depp.
Right here on the left-hand side, top left. I'm not laughing at the testimony. I'm laughing at the fact that somebody noticed that I'm right here. That's all I'm laughing about. Camille was absolutely awesome in court. Yep. Yep. I am forever a part of it. True. But we're not here for me right now. Let's focus on the Johnny and Amber shit show.
Was hiding from you in the bathroom. Isn't that
Incorrect.
right, Miss Heard?
Incorrect.
Well, Mr. Depp said on that recording, I opened the bathroom door when you were knocking on it. Doesn't he?
I don't know if he said that.
Finally got out of the shower and I opened the bathroom door about just that much, just so I could have a good hold on the door in case she tried to burst in. I was right. She did. She was.
In the private audio, Amber says being on a drug is part of the reason she assaulted Johnny.
You kicking the bathroom door and hitting me in the skull as I was bent down.
I am
Wait,
sorry.
divots.
I was upset. There was a lot going on,
Okay,
and I was
well,
on an Ambien. Like I said, I was sorry. I
Okay,
didn't deny
I know
it.
that.
But during the trial, she claims that he is the one who becomes a monster that beats her up after doing drugs.
It was always the men who did drugs and beat me up. Yes, that's always been the monster.
That's not what you're saying in these messages.
That is exactly what I'm saying in the messages.
Despite that the jury can read the messages where she writes, "Monster is back. This is him that ran away at first a sign of trouble." In the trial, she modifies it to indicate that she is not referring to him running away, but instead the man that did drugs and beat her up.
You don't describe Mr. Depp being violent, do you?
I do not describe that in this text message, no.
So it's a cowardly monster this time.
No.
Go fucking suck my dick, you fucking cowardless, ballless piece of shit.
I'm not gonna stand and fight with you. I will
don't-
not. You
I
can call me a
don't want that.
coward.
I don't
You
want
can call me anything you want. All those names, do it. But I will not.
From the audios and texts, it appears that Amber calls Johnny a monster when he runs away from fights. But in the trial, she claims that the monster is Johnny doing drugs and beating her.
I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. I was not punching you.
What the
Babe,
fuck
you're
is a
not
proper
punched.
slap?
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, you've been in a lot of fights, been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you fucking have a close.
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
When Johnny was listening
There it
to this
is.
piece
That's all
of
you need to
audio,
know.
he makes a noticeable reaction when he hears Amber saying, "You've been here for a long time."
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, you've been in a lot of fights. You've been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you fucking have a close.
That is perhaps because one of her go-to insults for him is to call him old.
Stingy old fucking piece of shit.
You think I was that fucking old ass fucking piece of shit?
If you didn't know who the fuck I was.
You're right.
Go sell your journals like a real non-sellout.
Or sorry, 50.
6.
2. 51. I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point.
No.
During what Amber describes as cycles of violence, she gifts Johnny a knife with a custom engraving on it spelling the words, "Until death."
In 2012, I was in the beginning stages of this, just learning these patterns. I was learning that drinking kind of correlated with the violence, end quote. Is that right?
That is correct.
So it was during these cycles of violence in 2012 that you gave Mr. Depp a knife as a gift.
I gave him a knife, I believe it was around 2012.
We've seen a picture of that knife, but I think we should bring out the real thing.
Oh yeah, the knife.
This is the knife you gave to the man who would get drunk and violent with you, right?
This is the same knife that I gave him as a present.
Amber gifting Johnny this big knife during a time she describes him as a monster presented more contradictions for her. To back this drugged up, aggressive monster story, Amber submitted the picture she took of Johnny passed out in embarrassing positions as a result of his addiction and the medication he takes to combat it.
You seem to really like taking pictures of Mr. Depp while he's sleeping, don't you?
I hated it.
You decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep with ice cream spilled all over him, right?
I was worried about how bad the medications and the medication change and the drugs had gotten.
So you took a picture of it?
Yes, I wanted him to get help, and Johnny's surrounded by enablers.
This isn't a very flattering picture of Mr. Depp, is it?
No, it's not.
But you sent this picture to one of your friends, didn't you?
Yes.
I don't recall.
Sir, does this refresh your recollection that you did in fact send this picture to your friend Rocky Pennington?
Yes, I did.
You weren't afraid the monster would get upset that you took this picture?
This was Opiate Johnny.
And you weren't afraid that Opiate Johnny, or the monster as you called him, would get upset that you sent this picture to your friend?
Well, he's all of those things.
If you're stuck in throwing punches.
I'm not talking about throwing punches. I'm talking about an argument.
Right. In arguments, you tend to throw punches.
I'm talking about arguments. I'm not talking about the times when it's got physical. I'm talking about arguments. I'm talking about arguments. I'm talking about arguments.
Yes, and our argument.
Earlier and earlier and earlier. Now you split. You take off right away. You don't deal with the issue. You don't deal with the confrontation, and you split.
Amber's justification for chasing Johnny around and bombarding him with messages when he escapes from fights is that she tries to prevent him from using mind-altering substances, because according to her, he's surrounded by enablers.
Page, you write a long series of text messages to Mr. Depp that don't get a response. Come grown. Please come home. Be the man. Please, no fight. I promise. Please, no fights. Please, just pick up. Please call me. I need to talk to you. Please, Johnny, don't force me to be something else to you. This is taking me for granted and I can never stop before this turns into something far darker. Describing yourself in that text message, right?
The exact opposite. I'm trying to interrupt him starting a new cycle where he starts using again.
He's not responding to you, Ms. Heard.
There were even a couple of times when I did escape and I got to my house. 5 minutes later, she would arrive. She would arrive in her nightgown, screaming in the parking lot in front of my house, screaming to high heavens. And it'd be 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning. It was ludicrous. It was It was out of control. It was uncontrollable.
The proof that came out in the trial suggests that she wants him to partake in drugs and alcohol.
This is a text message that you sent to Mr. Depp, correct?
That is correct.
And you write, quote, "Hey baby, bring up something to drink and or a joint. I'm in if you are. See you in a minute." And then the next day you went to Coachella and consumed MDMA and mushrooms, right, Ms. Heard?
I did.
In fact, Amber made drug consumption an integral part of their wedding day plans, as she writes, after dance party, drugs, and music.
Was she intoxicated at any time during the wedding weekend?
Yes.
There was a large consignment of wine that had been delivered to the house at the start of the visit. Many cases that I had to find a place to store. Generally speaking, on a day-to-day, about 1 or 2 bottles of red wine were consumed per day. I think that's fair to say.
Did you ever observe Mr. Depp drink any of the wine?
No, I didn't. I didn't see Mr. Depp consume any alcohol during that time in London.
Did you ever observe Miss Heard drink any of the wine?
Yes, I did.
Regularly?
Daily.
She was drinking quite a bit, and
she says she doesn't. She says she doesn't like to get drunk. She testified to that in the UK court.
Was bragging about how many boxes of wine she orders and likes to drink. Okay. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Oh
yeah, I remember this. What the fuck? How can one person consume this much alcohol, by the way? Honestly, I mean, it's probably not just her. Maybe it's her and a friend, but still, even between like 2 or 3 people, I mean, this is a career alcoholic, folks. And to brag about it, I mean, that's just psychotic in my book.
Hey, listen, I've never asked you this before. How about you stop drinking? How about you get sobriety?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
share this sobriety with me.
Yeah.
To support me and help me through this.
What did she say to that?
No.
Of course. It's not
She said
conducive.
no. She said she didn't have a problem.
I did a lot of changing to support his sobriety. I tried everything that I could possibly think of.
But you drink wine around Mr. Depp on a regular basis, correct?
I did drink wine.
Miss Heard wasn't the only one who had a problem with your drinking, correct?
So if anyone had a problem with my drinking at any time in my life, it was me. The only person that I have ever abused in my life is myself.
I'll write you a check for the extra sip I took. Is that okay? Stingy old fucking piece of shit.
You're the one that brought it up.
Stingy. He gave you everything. He gave you everything. Do you guys remember on the stand? There was one time Camille Vasquez on cross-examination. This was either the Monday or Tuesday. I think it was the Tuesday. I can actually give you guys the exact date so you can actually find it. I believe it was May 2022, because I was there. That was when I stepped. Yeah, May 17th. May 17th in the morning or after. I think it was in the afternoon. You can literally look this up. May 17th, 2022 in the afternoon. Camille Vasquez asks Amber, she's like, you got a role in Aquaman, didn't you? Yes. And Johnny Depp helped get you that role. Excuse me? Johnny Depp helped you get that role, didn't he, Ms. Heard? Mr. Depp helped you. Mr. Depp helped you get that role, right, Ms. Heard? No, I got that role on my own. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh my God, lady, just fucking admit that he helped you. And then no, he didn't. I got everything on my own. You guys remember that? You guys remember that shit? Oh my God. It's like this woman is just, oh. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, join in as a member if you're so inclined, and turn on notifications and send a super chat if you have questions.
I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't?
I said I didn't think you were looking for anymore.
Rewind.
And I was smoking a cigarette, and she goes, I would much rather be addicted to this, referring to cocaine, than cigarettes. And I was like, whoa, what?
Stephen Crowley, an actor Amber befriended when they worked on a movie called Never Back Down, long before she was involved with Johnny, recalls Amber's extreme drug habits.
And she goes, you party? And I'm like, oh yeah, I party. She whips out some Coca-Colas and starts doing it. And she's like, would you like some? I go, oh, I didn't know that's what party meant. I thought you meant do like we party, I hang out, let's go out, let's go drink.
It was either ketamine or GHB. She would put in her vodka, so you never drank from the bottle in the fridge.
Huh?
Dude, she's
professional.
It is wild. That was my first experience with anything, and it was for sure. I don't even think, true story, I don't think I'd seen weed in person at this point. I'm 21 years old. I really don't think I had. So like the first thing I'm exposed to is cocaine, ecstasy, and GHB laced vodka or ketamine.
I did a lot of changing to support his sobriety. I tried everything that I could possibly think of.
And you took Mr. Depp to Hicksville to do, quote, laughy drugs like mushrooms, end quote, right?
That's correct.
And you testified that despite what supposedly happened in Hicksville, you decided to take MDMA with Mr. Depp on a plane to Russia in June of 2013, correct?
Lawyer Camille Vasquez pressed Amber on her Johnny drug monster claims, but Amber refuses to surrender anything despite being caught in countless contradictions.
This is a situation where you were trying to get Mr. Depp to pay attention to you, isn't that right?
No, I was trying to stop him from using.
And because he ran away from you at the first sign of trouble, you call him a monster,
I was
right?
trying to stop him from turning into the monster.
This is what would happen when Mr. Depp would try to take some space from you, right?
No, this is what would happen when Johnny had moved into the next phase of the cycle, decided to use,
No,
and our
Ms.
lives
Heard.
were getting a lot worse at that
Ms.
point.
Heard, I'm talking about your actions. This is what you would do to Mr. Depp when he would leave you. You would harangue him.
I would
Is
try
that
to.
correct?
That's not what made him the monster.
For
No.
needing space from you.
The monster was not the guy who needed space. The
Not
monster
for
was
doing
who he
drugs.
was when he came back.
Not for doing drugs, Ms. Heard. Not for being violent. Just for needing space.
I said, I need space. I don't want this conversation anymore right now. I need space. And I will take my space, whether you like it or not. I will take it. And you will take your space. But if you keep halting
I'm not doing anything
this
to you.
and continuing
I'm
with
not
the rhetoric,
continuing it. I'm begging you to stop.
I don't. Okay, stop.
I'm begging you to
I'm stop.
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 No.
Now I have
bullshit.
to go. Okay. So we will speak to each other in a couple of hours. Okay?
Sorry.
Okay. So let me go, and you go, and I'll speak to you in a couple hours. Okay?
Stop.
Why are you saying stop? May
Please,
I
so-
go?
Please, it causes me so much stress when you leave, when you walk away from me. with
Abandonment
that, it's like
issues.
you're-
It causes me so much stress when you leave. Abandonment issues. I've been abandoned by my family in the past, and every time you leave, I don't know if you're going to come back. I've been in a relationship like that with my ex. I can attest to that. I know what it's like to be walking on eggshells. Constantly, you're just constantly checking your phone. I texted her. What did she text back? Did she text back? Did I get a text back from her? You know, it would be like, did she text me back? Why isn't she texting me back? And you're just like, do I call her? Do I not call her? Do I wait? Okay, I'm gonna wait. And then you try to focus on something, and you're just constantly like checking your phone. Like, did she text back? Did she text back? Did she text back? Oh my God. I remember being in a relationship like that. It is so cringe. It is so difficult. You don't even realize. You get used to it. You get used to it. You think like maybe that's normal. I don't know. This anxiety that's constantly enveloping you. Like, what is she doing? What is she up to? Is she fucking somebody else? Is she talking to somebody else? It's the worst feeling in the world. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. I remember I would spend like every night at her house because like I was afraid if I don't spend the night at her house, she's going to go fuck somebody else. I never told her about it, but she knew. She knew. We talked about it. I know that feeling. It's the worst feeling in the world.
Understand how much worse you're making this.
I can't believe this.
Please, you're making it worse for me.
Okay, I'm sorry for you.
Please, I'm only trying to tell you so that you know you're causing me immense stress right now when you walk away like that.
Yep. I know that feeling, but that's terrible.
You won't let me fucking leave.
Yeah.
Let me leave.
Yeah. Let me leave.
It's you and Mr. Depp in the recording, correct, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
You just want
For the record, my ex never until the very, very, very end. In the very end, she was like, I need my space. Please give me my space. And I was like, okay. And then I went on Tinder and Bumble and all the other apps a year ago. And then she caught me on the apps and she was like, what are you doing? Da, 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 da. And I was like, I thought you said we were done. And she's like, no, like now we're done. And I'm like, okay, thank you. So it was really weird. It was like I need you out of my life. I was like, okay, I'll bow out. And then I joined the apps, and it's like, what are you doing? It's like, you told me you told me we're done. So we're done. No, now we're done. Okay. All right, cool. Bye.
Let him go, will you?
That's not true. We were outside of his studio and he wanted to go and use. It was a pretext. The claim that he was upset with me was a pretext so that he would go on a bender. I knew that pattern by the time this recording happened.
He was going to go use drugs? That's your testimony now?
We were outside his studio, his man cave house, if you will, in the car, I believe, during that recording.
And he was going to go inside and use.
That was the pattern. And as you can hear from my voice, I'm very, very, very scared of entering into the next cycle under what I had been conditioned to understand we were at that point in our relationship.
That's not true, is it, Miss Heard? Mr. Depp was trying to go inside his house to see his daughter, Lily Rose.
Painting Johnny as a drug-fueled monster continues throughout the trial. Amber's team tries to make the point that he even lost jobs because of it, not because of Amber's claims. The drug and alcohol abuse angle Amber and her team played during the trial backfired heavily. It only highlighted an intense level of possessiveness over Johnny by Amber and exposed her own drug habits. Stephen Crowley asserts the production crew of Never Back Down decided to start drug testing Amber because they were suspicious of her sobriety on set.
She was upset that production asked her representatives that they wanted to start doing.
I love how all of them are former friend, Raquel, former friend, Crowley, former friend, this, former friend. Sorry, you probably can't see because I'm blocking it. I apologize. Maybe this is going to be better.
Testing because they thought something was wrong. We were talking and she's getting all pissed and she's like, they don't test Lindsay, referring to Lohan at the time, who I don't think was like completely off the rails yet. And there was always she'd bring up Lindsay Lohan a lot. I guess that she lost him. Supposedly, this is what she said. She lost Mean Girls. It's hard to know what was true with her when it came to stories. But what I saw is like what I saw.
Yeah.
Essentially, have boys like you is immense and it's overlooked. And it exists in high school. I felt it too. And I didn't even stay for all of high school. I only was there for half the time.
Her nurse, Erin Filati, would produce a medical file showing that Amber reported an addiction to cocaine, liquor, and a daily consumption of 1 to 3 glasses of wine, along with bipolar disorder and codependency issues. Nurse Filati's document also shows that Amber reported that both of her parents had an addiction to meth, opiates, and alcohol.
Oh, that's
later
right.
in the process.
That's right. I completely forgot. That's why she has abandonment issues, probably, because her parents used too many drugs and they were constantly absent from her life. So she grew up on her own with her sister Whitney. Very, very, very.
We would learn that Amber has been on a usual dose of an antipsychotic medicine called Seroquel.
Jim usually takes 25, you okay with 50? Oh, Sarah? Yeah. I'd be okay with 100.
Damn, 100 milligrams.
She was always quite fond of MDMA, which is ecstasy, and mushrooms. She had some medications that she was on already. One in particular was quite a high velocity speed, if you will.
But this is not love. This is not happiness. This is not.
Please stop. Please, it causes me so much fucking stress. I'm gonna die.
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna fucking die. You're causing me so much.
Yeah.
Stop. Please, you're killing me with this.
No.
You're killing me.
No.
You're
Stop.
fucking killing me.
I can't listen to this. That's psychosis right
Sean,
there.
could you, please, I want you to just go. I want you to take your medicine or whatever.
It was one of the most terrifying moments of my life. His gun's out. It's a proper what you think a drug dealer's house would be.
Stephen Crowley recalls 2 scary days in Florida with Amber, where he and other actors end up trapped at Amber's personal cocaine dealer's house.
You know, she's doing bumps all night. I don't know, 4 a.m, I head home. It's Sunday now. Around 11 a.m., I get a phone call from her, and she goes, Steven, come over. We're going to go play pool. We go to the pool hall, and 2 other actors are with us. So Tilky and Amber, and then Evan. They had not slept. Tilky and Amber for sure. So they had been up all night, playing pool, drinking. She's doing blow in the bathroom. This big guy comes, and I'm like, dude, who is this guy? Like, he goes, oh, that's Amber's drug dealer. And I'm like, oh, he's been fairly friendly. He goes, all right, we're going to my place. And he grabs Amber, and he walks her to his car. We drive to his house. So I'm like, we're driving. I'm like, Sean, what are we doing? He's like, dude, we can't leave her with that guy. We have to film, by the way, on Monday. He disappears. He goes to his bedroom. We're all out, like, hanging out by the pool table. We're playing pool at this point, and it's awkward. Amber's like chit tanked, like out of her mind, up for 2 days. She's like swaying, and Sean's like, dude, we can't leave. So more or less, that's what's going on. He comes out of his bedroom. He tells us to like move from the pool table. He puts down like this tray. Gallon Ziploc bag filled with cocaine.
Holy shit.
Opens it and just like mic drops it all on there. I had seen cocaine for the first time because of Amber, because she would always ask me to do it with her. Come on, just do it. Just do it. And that was the first time I was like, this can't be real life. He would have probably have let us left, but he wouldn't let her leave. But he was like, you're not leaving. And he goes, and she's not leaving.
She's the one
at
that
like
would
midnight. At this point, like she's at
him all the money.
Basically like kind of like falling asleep. She'd been up for 2 days, and we have to be on set. Not good. Not good. It was crazy. So when you see her on stand lying about how she only did coke like once when she was 18, when she explicitly told me I would rather be addicted to cocaine than cigarettes, as she's doing a bump, I'm like, baby doll.
She was just like wanted to monopolize his time, and like, you know, he'd be talking and then she'd like bring him over, and she was like all over him, and like I don't know exactly how to feel about that, but it stuck out to me that she just wanted him to herself.
It seemed unusual to you?
Yeah, it didn't sit well with me.
Mr. Depp was super excited about the place, really complimentary. Just seemed like he was in a really great mood.
Morgan Knight, the unassuming former owner and manager of the shabby chic Hicksville trailer palace, also recalls the degree of possessiveness and aggressiveness Amber displayed while there.
By the way, what a great place for celebrities. Like, here you go. Here's a mock village of real people living in trailers and stuff, and you just get to stay over and destroy everything. What a great marketing idea, I suppose.
Bird came over and kind of interjected. She seemed a little annoyed that Mr. Depp wasn't spending time with her.
And who was part of that party besides Mr. Depp and Miss Heard?
I remember one of them was Miss Heard's sister. The whole place slept, I believe at the time, about 25 people, but there was only 10 to 12 in this party. I was speaking with Mr. Depp, just one-on-one. Miss Heard came over and she said that I want to talk to you, and seemed really upset about something. She started yelling at him, and I didn't want to hear it. It honestly was really triggering because I've been in an emotionally abusive relationship before. She was upset at him and she was yelling at him. He was kind of cowering and seemed almost afraid. And so when I saw Mr. Depp on my next rounds, he apologized profusely and said, "I'm really sorry about that." She was upset.
In the trial, Amber appears to reverse the roles once more in this story by assuming the role of the victim and attributing this jealous rage and violent behavior to Johnny, saying that he is the one who is violent and jealous during this trip.
Can you tell the jury what transpired at Hicksville?
I don't know somebody brought MDMA, was being passed around, and somebody who took it kind of was starting to feel the effects of it. She kind of just leaned into me. I think I had eaten a mushroom cap. As soon as she kind of did this thing where she leaned into me, Johnny says, "Hey man, you think you're touching my fucking girl? You think you're touching my fucking girl? That's my fucking girl." And he gets louder and louder. Johnny grabbed her wrist and kind of twisted it and pulled her into him and said, "Do you know how many pounds of pressure it takes to break a human wrist? Huh?" We agreed that we'd go and
I don't
talk
think that
about
happened.
it in the trailer. And he says, "You know what I'm fucking talking about. You know what I'm fucking talking about. Be honest with me. Where are you hiding it?" He ripped my dress, the strap top part of my dress. I had just dyed this thing myself pink, and it's just one of those things. I was like, that's I just finished that dress. He's like grabbing my
You can see the emotions are not
breasts,
real.
he's touching my thighs.
This reminds me of the
He
trial.
rips my underwear off. And then he just shoved his fingers inside me.
I don't believe a word coming out of her
He
mouth.
said he was looking for his drugs, his cocaine, his coke. I was wondering how somebody who didn't do cocaine and was against it, that was in and of itself causing problems in our relationship. How could I hide? Why would I hide his drugs from, like he was insinuating that I was doing it or something? It made no sense.
Telling people that I was a drunken, cocaine-fueled menace who beat women. Suddenly, in my 50s, it's over. You're done. So, no matter the outcome of this trial, the second the allegations were made against me and turned into fodder for the media, I lost then.
You sat here and told this jury that the events in Hicksville started with Mr. Depp getting really upset about a woman leaning on you. Is that correct?
Yes.
You testified that he actually grabbed that woman's wrist and twisted it, right?
And told her that he could effectively break her wrist by saying he knew how many pounds of pressure, or asking her how many pounds of pressure it took to break a human wrist.
But your own witness, your former best friend, Rocky Pennington, she didn't corroborate that, did she?
I'm not quite sure what part of that night she saw. There were a lot of people there.
She didn't testify that Mr. Depp grabbed anyone's wrist in Hicksville.
We had to get the manager, and then he had this black mesh tank top, not tank top, it was like a meshy kind of shirt on. And I remember he came into the trailer and looked around and was like, "Whoa, what happened here? Whoa." That just got fixed. We walked out of the trailer at some point. My dog stepped on a bee. We went to the vet.
You told this jury under oath that Mr. Depp was aggressive and trashed a trailer in Hicksville. You didn't expect the manager of the Hicksville property, Morgan Knight, to come forward and testify that that wasn't true, did you?
Incorrect. I've already been through trials with this man. I know how many people will come out in support of him.
Isn't it true that you've been previously arrested for committing domestic violence against your spouse?
There was no domestic violence within that relationship. And the state of Washington, where I was arrested, immediately dropped the charges because they knew the exact same thing that I just told you, that no domestic violence ever occurred. This male cop put me in handcuffs, and it was a trumped up charge, and it was dropped immediately for being such.
The relationship with Johnny is not the only one where domestic abuse issues landed Amber in the legal system. Previously, she was arrested and booked in a domestic violence situation for
That's
assaulting
right.
her ex-partner, Tasha Van Ree, at a Washington airport in 2009.
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Heard, that on September 14th, you were in fact taken to jail? It wasn't dropped immediately.
Same objections, Vegas. Same objections.
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Heard, that you spent the night in jail from September 14th to September 15th, 2009, as a result of your arrest for domestic violence?
Same objections.
The source of Amber and Tasha's fights seems to be exactly what Amber is accusing Johnny of: using drugs.
The first time I had been to a strip club was with Amber. She's like, "Oh, my favorite stripper's working tonight." I was like, "What do you mean your favorite stripper?" She's like, "Oh, I come here a lot." And I was like, "Do you?" So we go in, they sit us right down in the middle. And then her favorite stripper comes out. She's dancing on her.
Stephen Crowley describes that Amber's hiding of her drug use and night lifestyle from Tasha was the major source of their fights.
She said Tasha was sober and against drugs, to the point when Tasha came to visit on set, Amber told me and anybody else who hung out with her, "Hey, Tasha's coming. Do not mention anything about drugs, partying, alcohol. She cannot know. So if she's on set, don't tell the story that we're at the strip club, you know?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, not a problem." Tasha found out about that Amber and the stripper had been hooking up, and maybe some other people. I get a text, I get a call, text or call, I don't remember. And Amber's like, "Hey, come over." And I'm like, "All right." So I go over, and the apartment is trashed. Looked like a robbery was through there. And I'm like, "Dude, what happened?" She goes, "Tasha found out about the stripper." And I was like, "Okay, but what happened?" She goes, "We got into a huge fight." And describing some of the scenes that she's described with Johnny Depp, where glasses all over the floor, but there's no pictures. The apartment, I was like, "Oh my God, if I'm the owner, I'm going to be pissed."
Amber tried to deny and make light of that situation with Tasha during the legal proceedings over the years.
You committed domestic violence against Miss Van Ree during your relationship, didn't you?
No, I did not.
You assaulted her at a Seattle airport in 2009, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Lies.
Miss Heard was aggressive towards her traveling companion.
Oh, by the way, do you folks know? So I know there's two parts to this. Somebody on X, somebody on X has said that there are 4 parts actually to this. I only see 2. Does anybody know if this documentary has 2 more parts? Somebody said it's a 4-part documentary. Part 4 is not out yet. I've seen 1 through 3. That's Susie Liu on X. Can anybody confirm or deny if there's it? Because I only see 2 parts on Vimeo. I know there's 2 parts on Vimeo, and there's a 3rd part somewhere. I don't know where. Maybe Amazon. And the 4th part is not out yet. So obviously there's no 4th part out. But can anybody confirm that there is a 3rd part? Because I thought there were only 2. At least on Vimeo, there are only 2. If anybody can confirm or deny, that would be fantastic. But so far, it looks like nobody knows. And that's fine. Maybe it'll come later.
She seemed to be not very steady on her feet. Her eyes were blurry and watery, and I could smell alcohol.
I'll ask Doug.
Miss Heard had grabbed her traveling companion and pulled something from her neck. At that point, I got up and went over to try to break up what appeared to be a fight. And I summoned a colleague to help me. I stepped in between them and separated them, stopping any further injuries or escalation.
Beverly Leonard, an employee at the Seattle-Tacoma Airport, where Amber was arrested by the Port of Seattle Police, came forward in the trial and revealed...
They just got done with 3. So 3 must have been released. Kat, do you know if it's where I could find it? If it's on Amazon Prime? Actually, while I'm streaming this, I'm going to look.
What happened between Amber and Tasha.
What did Miss Heard's traveling companion do?
She had abrasion on the side of her neck where the necklace was, like a rope burn from the chain as it was removed. She raised her hands in what appeared to be a defensive manner, but other than that, she was pretty stoic and didn't really respond much. Her stature was 2 or 3 inches taller than Miss Heard. She didn't really need to have to defend herself.
How would you describe Miss Heard's demeanor when you stepped in between Miss Heard and her traveling companion?
She was somewhat dismissive. She just said, we're just having an argument. We're fine. We're fine.
This sounds exactly like what Amber said to Travis McGivern about hitting Johnny.
Oh, I wanted Mr. McGivern to come up, and I asked her to tell him.
It's not on Amazon. By the way, it's not on Amazon. It's on... They have parts 1 and 2 on Vimeo and Amazon, but no 3 yet.
What had just happened. Her answer was essentially, I don't know what he's talking about. Nothing happened. He's fine.
This is the
What
best.
are you fucking talking about?
This is the best documentary I have ever seen. I agree with you, by the way, Myrna. This is like the most accurate documentary out there yet.
Fucking even have a fucking thing to lie about. What are you fucking
Unbiased and speaking directly to the truth and playing clips without any opinion whatsoever. It's just, here are the facts. Here they are.
talking about? Every fucking fight, there's a new thing that you've convinced yourself is a lie.
I said to you, Amber, tell Travis what you just did. Did you just fucking, did you punch me in the fucking jaw? Did you fucking kick? Did you? And you wouldn't say fucking, I don't know what you're talking about. I never fucking.
Yes, this is another example of the smear campaign.
So Mr. Depp is not the only domestic.
So hold on
partner
a second.
sold.
So the smear campaign, Amber, is the truth coming out? Are you, like, the smear campaign is the tapes of you speaking is the truth coming out. Are you trying to pull a for public safety here? Like, oh, they're being played out of order. There's no, you can't, unless you're playing the audio backwards, there is no out of order. It's just, did you or did you not say this? Yes, I said this, but there's no but. Did you or did you not say this? Yes, but no, there's no but. Did you or did you not say this? I did. Period. The end. That's it. Moving on.
It is he misheard.
I've never assaulted Mr. Depp or anyone else that I've been romantically linked to, ever.
Bring up something to drink and or a joint, end quote. You were asking him to bring those things for other people, not him to use, correct?
I'm not saying that.
You were upset that Mr. Depp was late to your 30th birthday, weren't you?
I was.
You knew Mr. Depp had a scheduled business meeting or a money meeting that evening, right?
No, I knew he said he did. I didn't know if he had one. Addicts lie all the time.
So you didn't trust him?
I took it with a big grain of addict salt.
Whatever.
Not only that Amber attempts to paint Johnny as an aggressive, drugged monster, but also as a manipulative, lying addict. Like when he was late for her 30th birthday after a crisis meeting he had about finances.
Did you overhear Amber say anything to Johnny from the moment he got there until you left?
I said that she was speaking to him quietly at the dinner table while we were having the party.
But you didn't hear any words that she said?
I didn't hear what the specific words were, no.
Johnny describes how she treated him when he arrived late to her birthday.
Occasionally she would tear herself from the conversation that she was in and lean towards me. I was sitting to her right, and I would get a quick earful of, I can't believe you've done this to me on my birthday. I can't believe, I'm so embarrassed. Which I found odd because I'd kept her informed all day, and the last text that I'd received was a request for wine and marijuana.
Yep.
Amber explained the text where she asks him if he's in to use weed and drink alcohol as a possible peace offering, that she's not going to bite his head off if he comes to her birthday party.
Bring up something to drink and or a joint.
By the way, don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell if you haven't already, and that way you get notified when you get new videos. And join on as a member if you're so inclined. Memberships go as low as like 99 cents, I believe is the lowest, I'm pretty sure. And then if you want to go a tier higher, by all means, you're more than welcome. And I did find part 3, so there will be part 3 for sure, and maybe part 4 coming soon. So very exciting stuff.
End quote. You were asking him to bring those things for other people, not him to use, correct?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't remember the context of these text messages, but if I had to guess, that seems like a likely guess. Either way, no matter if it was in reference to bringing up something from the utility apartment that he would have passed if he truly was on the way home soon and would be passing on the way there, or if it was a means for me to say, hey, I'm not going to bite your head off if you come here. Please just don't flake on my birthday party. Either way, I don't remember.
It's revealed that Amber would assault Johnny after everyone left her 30th birthday party for not engaging with her when she commenced a fight with him about being late.
Mr. Depp texted you that evening to let you know he'd be late, correct?
Yes, he did text me at some point.
It was a big deal to you that Mr. Depp was late to your birthday dinner, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did matter to me.
And you were upset he was late.
I was hurt.
And when he finally did arrive, you felt, quote, invisible to him, right?
I did.
The day after your birthday dinner, you and your friends went to Coachella to celebrate your birthday. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I never wanted a divorce. I didn't want you to fucking go to Coachella without fucking talking to me. Because I left you because you were fucking... You fucking haymakered me, man. You came around the bed and fucking start punching on me. Why? And she got up off the bed and she squared off at me in the doorway of our bedroom. And I said, what do you want to do? Hit me again? Would you like to hit me again? And I said, go ahead, hit me. Bam. And I said, good. Now you're done. Don't follow me. Leave me alone. I'm out. And I got out immediately and I went to my other house on Sweetser. I left penthouse 3. I left at 4:30 in the morning.
Amber would later claim that she was the one who was assaulted the night of her birthday before she goes on this Coachella trip next morning with her group. This incident would kick off a bizarre and dark chain of events.
Went upstairs to the penthouse. I was informed by Amber that she got in a fight with Johnny last night. She threw his personal property over the balcony.
Driver Starling Jenkins recalls his interaction with Amber that day at the penthouse. And then when he follows her to Coachella later that day to take care of her, especially after she would become sick from mixing drugs.
You consumed drugs at Coachella, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You took MDMA and mushrooms at the same time.
I did, yes.
And it made you feel sick, right?
I felt horrible, yes.
So you left Coachella.
Yes, that's correct.
I collected her, got her in the vehicle. She didn't want anyone else to know that she was sick. Take her back to the parker alone. I took her to the 7-Eleven where I retrieved hydrating fluids, Advil.
While taking care of Amber at Coachella, Starling Jenkins details that Amber told him about a surprise she left for Johnny at the penthouse on his side of the bed.
We had a conversation pertaining to the surprise she left in the boss's bed prior to leaving the apartment.
And when you refer to the surprise in the boss's bed, what are you referring to?
The defecation.
What did Miss Heard say about the defecation in Mr. Depp's bed?
Not only defamation, but also defecation.
Well, practical joke gone wrong.
There's a photograph of the bed, our bed. My side of the bed was human fecal matter.
Disgusting.
My initial response to that was, I laughed.
Yeah, because what do you do? What do you do at that point?
It was so outside. It was so bizarre and so grotesque that I could only laugh. And she just tried to blame it on the dogs.
She had eaten Johnny's weed when she was a puppy and had bowel control issues.
Because of eating weed one time. Bullshit. I call bullshit.
Amber's explanation
Bullshit.
of what appears to be a strange retaliatory act against Johnny for
A
arriving
dog
late to
doesn't eat marijuana one time and then have bowel issues for the rest of its life. That is bullshit. No.
her birthday party and leaving a physically violent situation is to ascribe it to a teacup Yorkie named Boo. Amber can be seen here exaggerating the size of Boo.
Can you describe approximately how many inches you are saying Boo is in length?
How big is?
Like she's
What kind of
looking at her
dog is
lawyer
she?
like,
She
is
is
that
a
is that a good lie?
Are you-
Is that the Oh, the finger is gonna be in the second one. Chapter 2. Okay. All right, folks. That was fun. That was very, very fun. Thank you, that umbrella guy, again for the shout out. Not the shout out, but the shout out to you, brother, for the recommendation. And we will do. I want to play real quick. I want to play the trailer of the third one. So this is not. This is the third one. We're going to watch this chapter 2. We're going to watch chapter 2 either later today or maybe tomorrow or something. This is chapter 3. I just want to see. I don't think anybody's premiered this yet. This is a preview. This is a 1-minute preview of chapter 3.
We all want to end it, Johnny Depp.
I just wanted to touch you.
Really? After all the shit you just said?
I just wanted to give
After
you
all
a
this
hug.
shit
I
you
just,
fucking
yes,
used me up,
yes, please.
My intimate partners, my friends have to live with a set of unspoken rules about how to not touch me.
Okay, I'm not going to bite your head off if you come here. Please just don't flake on my birthday party.
You were upset that Mr. Depp was late to your 30th birthday, weren't you?
I was.
She was irate.
We got some. Oh my God, what was it? Lenny Bruce. Vince P. 1974 is Lenny Bruce fan, clearly. To defecate is a verb. To is a come. Verb is a proposition. I remember that. To is a verb. Come. Defecate is a. Wait, no. Sorry. Defecate is a verb. To is a proposition.
She was irate and she was possessed.
Crazy, fierce, fierce.
And I swung at him. She smacks him, lands one.
We're just going to come in and make sure that everybody's okay.
No one called the cops yesterday, and no one called the cops today.
Stop hitting me, Johnny. She's screaming.
I didn't want anything and I didn't get anything.
You wanted Mr. Depp's money.
Didn't get it, wasn't interested in it.
Everything's been a defensive move because I'm being called a liar and a gold digger, and I'm not lying about any of this.
Let's finish this and I'll answer that question, Amy.
That the bruise wasn't there and suddenly appeared, voila, on Friday in time for her hearing. Come on.
My boy goes to school and has kids go, so your dad's a wife beater? You don't think about that, Amber.
What did you do with that money?
$7 million in total was donated.
You still haven't donated the $7 million to charity.
I have not yet.
And you don't spit on my nose.
Look, Johnny, tell Johnny that I play that piano. I'm the victim to a drag on, and I see how many people believe or try to do.
She kept saying, I'm not even in your will. I'm not even in your will. I thought that was an odd thing to say.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So that's part 3. That is going to be part 3, which is going to come after part 2, which we're going to do either later tonight or probably tomorrow. Because tomorrow I have a lot on my plate. Probably won't happen tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to be live with the Random Patriot. Excuse me. Tomorrow I'm going to be live with the Random Patriot. He is going to be on my channel tomorrow. So join me tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then Tuesday, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do part 2 on Tuesday. If I don't do it later tonight, I'm going to try and do it later tonight. Okay. So stay tuned. If it's going to happen later tonight, it'll be around like 6 or 7 p.m. Okay. 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to try and do that tonight. That's going to be part 2. And then I'm going to do part, oh my God, hold on. I completely forgot. Give me a second, you guys. Because I completely forgot that I have, when is Aiden coming on? Turtle Boy. Oh, I completely forgot about that. So, okay. So let's do this. I'm going to do part 2 tonight. No question. I'm going to have to do part 1. Part 1 is done. Part 1 is done. Today was part 1. Okay. Part 2 tonight. Part 2 is tonight at 7 p.m. right here on this channel. I'm going to make the StreamYard here pretty soon so you guys can join in and start chatting. Then I'm going to do part 3 either when I get back from New Orleans or or if I can do it in New Orleans on Wednesday night, but my girlfriend and I are probably going to be going out. However, tomorrow I'm going to be live with the Random Patriot and the victim of the Massachusetts police officer who assaulted her and broke her rib after she tried to assert her First Amendment right. That's tomorrow. And then Tuesday, we're going to have Turtle Boy back on. He's going to talk about the latest that Massachusetts is investigating a detective in the Karen Reed case. Some of his involvement is getting a little bit too crazy. A little bit too crazy. So Aiden is finally, Turtle Boy's work is finally paying off. I knew I liked that guy for a reason. I knew I liked that guy. So lots and lots and lots of stuff coming. I'll try to stream from New Orleans. Don't put money on it, but I'll try. I'll be in New Orleans Wednesday, the 20th through Sunday, the 24th. So we'll be back to our regularly scheduled program the week of the 25th, which is next Monday. But definitely a show tonight, definitely a show tomorrow, and definitely a show on Tuesday. So I thank you all for joining me. I hope you all enjoyed this. Let me just shout out the latest members. Tammy Hoshiyama, thank you for being a member for 12 months, as well as Denise Allard for 20. Holy crap. Tim Roberts, thank you for joining on as a new member. Same goes for you, Nana Izzy, and Danny, and Cherry Pow Pow, Charmaine Fugate, Star Z, Melissa Smith, a.k.a. the Cat Lady, and Connie Garvey, and Black Beauty. Thank you all so much for joining on as members. Cherry Pow Pow says, Amber Heard, people who care about looking good while doing evil. Elon Musk, exactly. David Lowe, thank you so much. And Carmen Castro, is there no law against perjury in the United States? Of course there is. It's just enforcing it is the hardest part sometimes. And Danny says, I never got to thank you, Larry, for covering this case during the trial because of your reporting back regularly. It gave many covering the case inside info we wouldn't have had. Thank you, Larry. You are welcome. And hopefully we'll be able to deliver that as well during the Rust trial. Albuquerque, New Mexico, July 9th. My girlfriend and I plan on being there. So that's going to be fun. And before I leave, Pickle Orderer. Pickle Orderer. Yes, Pickle Orderer. I've been chatting with you. Thank you so much for joining on as a member as well. And we'll keep chatting. So, all right. Bye, everybody. I'll see you in a few hours. Bye-bye.